Little hero Joe Smith here. A Hustler Super Z that came in. Customer states won't start. I did take the air filter out and sprayed some carburetor cleaner down the tube and got to fire off. So I'm going to do a carburetor. Sounds like he had it sitting for a year or two. He just wants to try and get fixed up so he could probably sell it. You say he kind of needs something a little bit bigger maybe. He's got like 10 acres to mow. He didn't want to put a ton of money in it. The OEM carburetor for this, my cost was like $550, which is like insane. I mean, I had an ATV a few years ago where the carburetor for it was like $650 my cost. But I mean, typically I haven't really paid or had to pay my cost much more than $100 for a carburetor. Was able to get the part number for it and found an aftermarket one online. I forget how much it was. A lot cheaper though. So we're hoping it works. But he said, yeah, before when he would run it, sometimes he'd run it for an hour or 2 hours and then die. So he told me after I got it on, take it out and run it for like half the day. Just make sure it didn't die on him. It kind of sounds like the issue with this other zero turn I had. I think it was a Kubota zero turn a couple years ago or so from the Rogers, Arkansas post office. They used to mow their yard. They took it back to their dealership like a few times and they still couldn't figure out what was wrong. They brought it to me and I ran it for like an hour or two and it never acted up, and I thought they were like crazy, but I took it out the next day and ran it more, and then just going full throttle, blades running, ran it out in the field over there as hard as I could, turning as hard as I could, just running the shit out of it basically. And I finally started acting up. So then I started looking into it. It did have some dirt and debris in the gas tank. I think I went and replaced the fuel line. And then still having some issues, and then finally put a new carb on it and then ran the shit out of it for a few hours and didn't have any issues after that. They took it, called them like a week later to see if we had any issues yet. They said no, it's been just fine. So they're real thankful that I finally fixed it after like their dealership and some other shop couldn't figure it out, I guess. So I'm thinking that's probably the issue with this. It's something in the carburetor, something tiny. So really hoping new carburetor fix it for him. That way he can get back running again. This more over here. This lady from up in Missouri, like a good half an hour or so away from here. Half an hour to an hour or something. I mean, I got customers coming from an hour away, from Oklahoma, from Missouri. But yeah, she brought it and said that the drive just, she hit something and bit the baffle, or broke the baffle off from underneath the deck or one of the baffles or something. So I gotta fix that. She brought parts. I don't know if it happened at the same time or what, but she said the drive just started messing up, like the drive belt was broke, and I guess the hydro fan or transmission fan, it broke off and fell too when the belt came off. But I worked on it some earlier today Put the new hydro fan on, turned out the belt, had just jumped off the transmission pulley and one of the idler pulleys. So I slapped it back on without putting a new belt on. Put the new fan on. Just got the baffle to put on here tomorrow. But when working on it, I did notice there's a bunch of residue and stuff around the valve cover, like the valve cover's leaking there. So called her up and she said, yeah, go and replace the valve cover gasket too. So wait on the valve cover gasket come in, try and get the baffle on here tomorrow. Not sure if I got the old baffle over here where that's at. Yeah, here it is. That's supposed to be flat, and then it's supposed to have mounting tabs here and here. Yeah, that's supposed to be flat. Let me see if I got a new one in here. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, that's how bad she messed it up. The mounting bolts are still in the deck, of course, luckily. But yeah, that won't take much time to fix. Okay, well, there's just an update of what's going on around the shop here. Thanks for watching. Joe Smith signing out.